This time it's a push-up waterfall. Hey everyone, it's LJ here. Welcome back to another Squdge craft video. Today we're going to do another standalone album page. So recently I did this pull down waterfall where you pull at the bottom and the pages scroll through to show your pictures. This is quite a standard waterfall. I've used this a lot. However, recently in an album I've just made, A Baby Girl in a Box, I will link the video for you, I have done a push up waterfall. So it's another moving waterfall, just slightly differently. So for my example, again, I'm going to use the same standard size, 6.5 by 8.5. You use whatever size page you are working on. We are again going to have 6 flaps to our waterfall, but this time, just to show you a different example, I'm going to use square pieces. So these are 4 by 4. Again, you use whatever size piece fits your photos and your album. So we're going to have 6 flaps. And in exactly the same way as the last one, we're going to have a long strip, this time is in red, which is longer than but the same width as your photo. So as in the first one, you want it the same width as your photo. We are also going to need a strip. This is probably going to only need to be about 1/2 inch wide, and it needs to be roughly 9 inches for me because my pieces are 4. Keep it as long as possible. If you can do it by 12 inches, that would be perfect. First step is exactly the same as our other waterfall. We are going to score 6 score lines, 1 every 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Again, if you've got more flaps, you will need more score lines, less flaps, less score lines. You want a 1/2 inch section for each flap on your waterfall. And as before, we are going to fold and burnish these 6 1/2 inch sections. So I'm just going to carefully fold these and burnish them down. Again, you want to make this as straight as you possibly can, because once you put your waterfall together, it will be very noticeable if things are wonky. Now, I show examples on my channel using different coloured card. I do this just to make it easier for you to see the different sections. Usually, obviously you do you, but usually when making a waterfall, your long strip and your flaps will be the same colour card. For this I'm just using red and the yellow just to make it really clear for you. So as before, we're going to do 1 per 1/2 inch flap. So that top 1/2 inch, I'm going to pop some glue on there and I'm going to stick our first flap to it. Again, these are 4 by 4. You do whatever size and shape fits your photos in your album. I just wanted to show you a square version because in the last one we did rectangular flaps. So fold and burnish that on, make sure it's lined up straight. Fold down the next 1/2 inch and glue the next one on. And the most important thing when you're doing this is to make sure it is straight down the sides. As I've said, you might see little pops of red on my waterfall, but that is just because I'm using different coloured card. If you're using all of the same card, you won't notice those splashes of red because it'll be the same colour. But what you dearly, dearly need is that the sides, those long sides going all the way down that long strip, line up. Because if one is wonky, it's going to be really noticeable, and you don't want it to be that noticeable. So I'm going to pop this on speed up while I stick the rest of these on because you have seen me do it once already. Okay, so as you can see, when I'm scrolling through here, you can see the occasional pop of red because the top isn't completely straight. So you can see there, you can see quite clearly that red. Not so much on some of the others, but then some you can really see it. Because yours will be the same colour, it won't be that noticeable. The most important thing is that you get the sides straight. Okay, let's move on to the next step. I did then get a visit by the kitten, so I got a little distracted. Okay, so our long strip, we are going to score then. Now, because I'm doing 4 inches, I'm going to score mine at 4 1/8 and 8 1/4, because that way it will wrap around my piece with enough space. If yours is 5 inches, you'll have to do 5 1/8, 10 1/4. If yours is 6 inches, you may have to stick 2 pieces together. You want it so that you can form a band that goes around our long strip. So on mine, it's the red coloured piece. Yours will obviously be the same colour. So you want it to be able to wrap around like a band, like a bracelet, around the long flap on your waterfall. I then trimmed mine down a little bit because I'd left mine at a length of A4, which is 11 inches. So I just trimmed a bit of mine off. But it's going to go around that back piece, as you can see, and just fold around itself. So I just trimmed off a bit to make it shorter, and then I'm going to stick that together. And the reason we score at 4 1/8 is so that 1/8 of an inch gives this band enough room to move freely. We need it to move freely. If it's going to get stuck, if it's going to be too tight, then it's not going to fit. We want it to move as smoothly as you can see there, nice and easy. Okay, the next step we're going to do is cut my red piece level with my yellow. So for you, you'll be cutting your back long strip to be the same length as your lowest photo flap. Mine, it's easy to see because they're different colours. For yours, you just need to make sure they are the same length. Okay, now it's time to fit it together. So you've got your band on the back piece. On that back flap, so my red piece, I'm going to put a bead of glue along the top and along the bottom. You don't want it to be a huge blob of glue. You're just doing a very thin line at the top and the bottom. You want to make sure you've got enough glue that it sticks, but you don't want to take up like, quarter of the length. The more space you take up, the less your waterfall will move. Once we've got that glue on, we're going to then stick this to the page where we want it. So you would put this on top of your design paper if you had design paper on this page. Once that is dry, give it a bit of a burnish, top and bottom, just to make sure it is stuck down, because that's all that's holding this to the page. Once that is stuck down, you can see now that red back piece is stuck, but our band in the middle can still move. You can see there how, if I pull that out, you can see there it's only stuck top and bottom. So our band still moves. What we're going to do, slide that band all the way down to the bottom of our page. So you want it to go all the way down to the bottom, so it's next to that glue line, and get it as straight as you can. You don't want it to sit wonky, you want it to sit straight. And then we're going to put glue on that band. So just on that little band that we've made, and then again we're going to fold at the first score line, fold the entire top, all those flaps down straight, burnish that on, and so effectively the back of the bottom flap is going to be stuck to that strip that we've made. And then all you need to do is push on the bottom waterfall flap and it will scroll nicely, and then you can slide it back down just by pulling it gently. Okay, obviously this can push sideways as well as up. We're just calling it a push waterfall because rather than pulling to scroll it, you're pushing to make the first scroll. And as I said before, this can be done in any size, any shape, any direction that you find works with your album. And yeah, it is as simple as that. So this is just a slightly different way to the first waterfall, just to give you another idea. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing if you have, and I'll see you on the next one. Keep crafting. Bye!